Alright, we're going to talk about Dylan O'Brien, who plays Styles in Teen Wolf. And at a glance, I feel very confident that this is an FTM. Look at the gentle energy in the eyes. The pretty, gentle eyes. Does look like we've got a brow ridge, but, probably taking hormones for his whole life. All of this facial hair is looking like a very scraggly, unnatural FTM kind of facial hair. Why can't he grow it here? Why can't he grow it here? As I've said, some boys in my generation seem to have the same kind of struggle, but this just looks very odd. Now immediately here, I'm drawn to this more rounded shape in the hips. We are seeing a more defined Q angle than we were seeing on Tyler Posey, and, the shoulder bone would be right about here. Go down, there's not a huge difference. I do think the hips look like they might be a little narrower than the shoulders, but got a fairly long neck. Now, there's this kind of look in the eyes that kind of looks dead even when smiling. Yeah, it's something I really notice on FTMs is on a lot of MTFs, they'll have this kind of fierce, wild look in the eyes. Not just male energy, but little menacing. And in FTMs, they often just have this kind of dead, dull, crushed look in the eyes. I don't know. What do you guys think? Loose shirts, consistent with clothing choices that they would put on men, but I do think you can kind of perceive that there's a bit more curve going on under there than there should be. I think these trousers are worn a bit lower than they naturally would be if they were worn at the right height. Looking like we're seeing some curve to the leg. Foot size looking pretty male, but some girls have larger feet. Maybe he's wearing shoes bigger than he needs. Dunno. This just looks so much like a girl. Got pretty pronounced cheekbones, but still. The whole energy seems very girly. Got such a kind of softness around all of the limbs and everything. It just feels uncomfortable, They've done a fairly good job on not making it too obvious, but it does look like we've got quite a curve going on here. And I guess this is a false Adonis belt? I don't know. This navel is going on with this navel. That's something very strange looking. Maybe it's just the shot, but that looks really weird. Yeah, this looks weird too. It's like this is a bit kind of higher and maybe a little, fuller around here than here where it kind of goes lower, and I feel like that's kind of a hack job of female chest. Got quite a slope down here. The neck is pretty defined, but something's off. Does look like we're seeing quite a strong jawline here. Pretty wide mouth too. Yeah, mouth not looking quite so wide. Skinny person with extra fat deposits in the face and under the chin, which doesn't typically happen on men, but more so on women who have more fat because of estrogen. Yeah, bit of a brow ridge. Maybe caused by hormones, maybe implanted. Again, cheekbones, you can get those through implants and injections and, all kinds of procedures. Hand looking pretty small, wrist looking very delicate. Such a girly look. The mouth is really big, that's confusing, but I guess there are some girls with pretty big mouths. It's a weird angle, hard to tell, but hands in the pockets, often. Through the shirt, you seem to be seeing some strange shape going on here. It does look like there's quite a curve here. Again, we do have the lopsided eyes and just such a kind of dull look in the eyes. Something about the way the joints curve and everything is just seeming very female to me. Such a girly looking face. Masculinized by use of some hormones, but here we're not seeing any sharpness to the jaw. You can see where the facial hair grows, there's just not much of it. And I mean, I don't know how young he was in this shot, but don't think he's that young that he'd be not growing one yet, so fair gap between here and here. This nose always struck me as kind of weird. I'm not really sure if it's fully natural or what is with it, but quite a softness to the cheek, even though we've got a strong cheekbone. Such a girly face here. And yeah, I think the hands in the pockets are making the hips look a little wider, but still, what a figure. Not a boy figure. Always with that look in the eyes. Yeah, let's look at crotch level 2. Yeah, definitely the palm, not the wrist bone. Yep. And the trachea has enlarged, but I don't see any kind of Adam's apple in that. It's just an enlarged trachea, just like what we see on a lot of MTFs who are trying to not have that. This is all that the women seem to be able to get. They want it. Such a girly look. He's got quite a strong looking kind of jaw and fairly square looking facial structure in this shot, but still the overall look is so kind of soft and feminine. Seem to have quite a lot of a really defined bag under the eyes too. Nothing at all going on in the neck. Very strange. I mean, just look at this picture. Just, if you put some hair on it, you'd already believe it's a girl, even with the masculinization of the face through testosterone use and whatever else they've done. You'd put some hair, I would already believe it's a girl. Just the energy in these eyes. It is that gentle energy. Is a girl. Yeah, something very, very weird about the chest. And this is kind of weird chest hair. Some weird kind of, not much of a defined bone structure and kind of weird lumpiness. I don't really know what's going on in here. Again, soft face, different sized eyes again. The mouth isn't actually that wide when closed. Smiling a little bit here, but the eyes are fairly close together and the mouth isn't actually that wide. Deceptively wide when open, but the shape of it at a resting state isn't incredibly wide. Sad and gentle look in the eyes. Oh, what this is really weird. It is just really weird. Again, seeing a bit of a curve here. There are some women who don't have extremely broad and curvaceous hips, and if made into a boy at a young enough age, well, you can't make them into a boy, but if you change the dominant hormones and block the others, maybe you can achieve this kind of slightly narrower, though, it's still looking pretty much equal. Puffy shirt, but, body still looks weird. Well, this is looking very veiny and pretty masculine, so this picture does look pretty doctored overall, so maybe they've done something. Or maybe taking testosterone can give you that kind of sturdy, beefed up looking hand. I don't know. Neck is thick, but not looking right. Just nothing in there. It's just a big, thick nothing. even trying to pull off this kind of intense smolder look, it looks like a gentle girl. Not seeing too much of a curve, but still seeing more of a curve than we see on a lot of MTFs, so definitely the thigh looks pretty curved. Looks like it's quite a shopped photo anyway, but quite a softness to the curves of the limbs and everything. Can't really make a judgment of the foot size at these angles. Does seem to curve in here and back out again, so that's a bit suspicious. Looking like we're seeing a curve inward, the waist, very high waist, coming outward again. Same with this side. Very feminine looking lips as well. Pretty gentle seeming person. Very girly. Again with this girly fat deposit. And, I could actually believe that's a female neck, looking at it. Take away this hairy arm and could still pretty much believe it's a girl. Very slight, small looking ribcage. And though it's holding the back pretty straight here, and the pelvis seems to be tilted forward, it does seem to be quite a curve that begins pretty high. And, that rear looking a bit more female than some of the ones we've seen. Obviously, padded shoulders. Yeah, short arms, long legs. Can't see much of the shape in this, but such a girly look in the face again. Just look at that face. Looking like we were getting strange, unnatural shape here. Again, see weird shapes going on through the shirt. Does seem to have managed to get fairly big looking hands, and so veiny. It's really, really veiny. Kind of weird actually. I don't think there's any real discoloration or anything going on. Okay, again with the weird facial hair. Gentle, gentle eyes. And this shot, this just looks so... look at here. There seems to be something put on here that's not natural. I don't know. I'm not really sure what I'm seeing here, what's going on here and everything, but I do know that right here, where the high female waist is above the navel, you're having quite a curve come out into a female-looking hindquarters, and now we see the curve come out here as well. Seems like there's quite a rounded dimension to even the thin legs. So, small-looking person all up here. Again, pretty delicate-looking wrists. Nope, they've thickened up the neck again with these weird shapes inside. And you can tell there's still the weird body shapes, same as every picture, In this shot they do seem to have made the shoulders look wider than I think they actually are, so the smallness of the torso up here, and then the broader dimensions of this shape around here. Seeing quite a curve around this region as well, and chest looking very odd. Arms looking very short here. Well, not looking so huge and rough anymore, are they? Spidery, dainty little bony fingers. The weird stuff in the neck going on again. This weird... What is this? Something living in there. I don't know. Looks like we've got a female digit ratio, if you place any stock in that. Which is just interesting in this case because this one looks like a female. Yeah, looks like a crying woman. Teeny little hands. And here looks like we're pulling forward the pelvis and trying to straighten the back, but it's just not looking quite right. Here they do all kinds of lighting tricks to try and illuminate what they want illuminated and cast into shadow what they don't, but as mentioned before, a lot of times I've noticed men have a kind of more pointy elbow, and don't really see any point here. I think this would be either the same length or possibly a female digit ratio here. Again, soft face, fat on the face and round. Again, the weird shape here. And this looks like a definite female slope. Curves along like this, not just built up muscle. And yeah, the way that the shoulder bones here connect is not the straight across and then kind of bulbous jutting part that you often see on men and MTFs. It's kind of more curves more into the shoulder up here. So it's kind of weird looking along here, but again, this looks really short. And yeah, I mean, this one is really quite obvious. The body coming into this obvious place where the female waist indentation should be, which is way above the navel. And then a subsequent curve where the hips are, and here in this picture, they look about the same as the shoulder width. Very weird body hair pattern going on. And, you know, possibly this is editing after taking the photo, and, you know, maybe they do something with surgery to get this line. It's just, overall, this is not looking small up here in this region where it shouldn't be, where it should be broad. And it's wide down here, in this part where it shouldn't be. It's the wrong way around. Now, he does have quite a big head next to Tyler Posey. On another note, he has a weird looking digit ratio where it looks about the same on this hand and then longer on this hand, so. But yeah, these look like delicate, spidery, dainty little hands. And really short arms. But yeah, still, even though this one's got a pretty big skull, you know, comparing between these two, I'm still seeing more of a male energy in these eyes than in these eyes. And putting the hands where they should not be on the hips, because then you can tell that the waist really comes in and the hips really come out. Not a good position for FTMs. Alright, so apparently this guy was really popular with a lot of the female viewers, but unfortunately he's not a guy. This is a girl. Dylan O'Brien is a female to male transgender. And that's that.
It's always just weird when people say to me, like, you know, these movies are usually coming out with, like, female leads. How does it feel to be, like, a male lead? And I'm just like, I mean, I feel like it's way cooler to be the female lead. Like, it's kind of too generic that I'm a male lead. You know, I think it's cooler that that trend is, like, female-driven. So I don't feel really cool about being a guy. So I don't feel really cool about being a guy.